CEMTV. Reliable news and entertainment.
Is it time? I can't wait to see it.
Voice of the people, stories that matter.
Oh wow!
Truth in every moment, now and forever. Across every border, across every land, we form, we empower, together we stand. From Africa to the world, connecting everybody.
Hello, it's 7 a.m. in Nigeria. It's 8 a.m. in Cairo and Johannesburg. It's 9 a.m. in Nairobi. It's 10 a.m. in Dubai, 7 a.m. in London, and 2 a.m. in New York. This is CEMTV Main News on the Hour. Truth first, you next. Stay informed to stay empowered. I am Miabaka Iyenengi with the news. On the headlines this morning, Professor Princewood Chike resumes as 10th Vice-Chancellor of the University of Port Harcourt. Federal government suspends proposed WAEC-NECO fee hike. Plus, U.S. hit dozens of Iranian military targets in new strike. Details in a moment. Please stay tuned.
This is CEMTV. Reliable news and entertainment.
We begin the news with a report that Rivers State House of Assembly has assured Governor Siminalayi Fubara that the proposed 1.854 trillion naira 2026 appropriation bill will receive expedited consideration despite being presented 6 months into the fiscal year. Speaking after the governor's presentation, Speaker of the House Martin Amehule, who acknowledged that the appropriation bill was submitted after half of the fiscal year had elapsed, however, assured the governor that lawmakers would give the proposal prompt attention in accordance with the law and the best interest of Rivers State. Recall that Governor Fubara on Friday presented the budget proposal tagged Budget of Resilience for Growth and Development before the Assembly for consideration and approval, stressing that the budget reflects a collective vision of building an economically resilient, thriving and prosperous Rivers State.
Mr. Speaker, it is my pleasure to present the 2026 Rivers State Appropriation Bill to the honorable members of the Rivers State House of Assembly for your consideration and passage into law. As we all know, despite the challenges, the machineries of governance has continued to function in our dear state. and we have made significant progress in our priority areas of road infrastructures, human capital development, as well as in the security of life and properties. Most significantly, our state has remained fiscally stable thanks to our commitment to fiscal responsibility, prudence, and accountability in managing public funds. We do not tolerate mismanagement at any level and have utilized public funds to provide services, attract investment, create jobs, and offer social economic opportunities for our people. Honorable Speaker, with this introductory remark, I proceed to present the highlights of the 2026 draft budget. 2026 budget. The budget, 2026 budget is backed budget of resilience for growth and development. It is the result of considerable public participation in a shared vision for building an economically resilient, thriving, and prosperous River State. The total revenue projection, the total projected revenue for River State for the year 2026 fiscal year is 1,854 billion 248 million 734,475 naira 76 kobo. This means our proposed total operating revenue for 2026 is projected to increase by 24.49% over the 2025 adjusted budgeted projection due to possible increase in returns from FAC, derivative fund, and
Away from that, the ninth Vice Chancellor of the University of Port Harcourt, Professor Onari Abraham George Will, has handed over the staff of office to Professor Prince Will Aruchike as the 10th Vice Chancellor of the university. Addressing a press conference, the chairman of the Governing Council and Pro-Chancellor, Senator Mao Ohabunwa, who appeared alongside members of the Governing Council, the university management team, and other distinguished guests, described the event as the smoothest vice-chancellorship handover in the history of the University of Port Harcourt, noting that it was conducted without rancor or security concerns. Senator Ohabunwa, who attributed the peaceful transition to the long-standing relationship between both professors, which dates back to their university days, commended the outgoing Vice-Chancellor for his remarkable achievements during his tenure and urged him to continue supporting the new administration. Delivering his farewell address, the ninth Vice-Chancellor, Professor Onari Abraham George Will, expressed gratitude to God for granting him good health and sound mind throughout his tenure, while wishing the new administration success. He stated that he was leaving the University of Port Harcourt as one of Nigeria's leading universities and expressed confidence that the institution was in capable hands. In his acceptance remarks, the 10th Vice-Chancellor, Professor Prince Will Aruchike, appealed to his predecessor to continue offering guidance and support, emphasizing that the task of administering a university of the stature of Uniport is enormous and cannot be accomplished alone. Professor Chike extended an olive branch to all those who contested the Vice-Chancellorship along him, encouraging them to bring their unique ideas, expertise, and talents to collectively build a stronger and more distinguished University of Port Harcourt. Our correspondent, Gloria Kelly Odega, reports.
Goodwill messages poured in from distinguished academics, university administrators, and stakeholders, all expressing confidence in the leadership of the newly inaugurated Vice-Chancellor and offering words of encouragement as he begins his tenure. The Vice-Chancellor of Ignatius Ajuru University of Education, Professor Okechukwu, congratulated Professor Prince Will Chike on his assumption of office and wished him a successful tenure. He advised the new Vice-Chancellor to lead with diplomacy, wisdom, and fairness while remaining resilient and prepared for the inevitable challenges that comes with administrating a higher institution. Also lending his voice was the Vice-Chancellor of the Federal University of Environment and Technology, Professor Prince Chinedu Mon, who urged Professor Chike to prioritize effective service delivery and inclusive leadership. He emphasized the importance of carrying members of staff along in decision-making, noting that once the university community recognizes the Vice-Chancellor as a principled, grounded, and firm leader, they will readily align with his vision and support the administration's objectives. Former Vice-Chancellor of the University of Port Harcourt, Professor Stephen Okodudu, described the situation as one with enormous opportunities as well as significant administrative responsibilities. He acknowledged the magnitude of the task ahead and prayed that God would grant Professor Chike the wisdom, strength, and discernment needed to successfully lead the university and sustain its legacy of academic excellence. Also speaking was Professor Nathaniel Abraham, Dean of the Faculty of Education, and one of the contenders in the recently concluded Vice-Chancellorship selection process. Demonstrating a spirit of unity and sportsmanship, he pledged his unwavering support to the new Vice-Chancellor, promising to contribute his wealth of ideas and experience towards building a formidable leadership team committed to the continued growth and development of the University of Port Harcourt. Representing the host community, a chief of Choba offered prayers and goodwill messages for the new Vice-Chancellor. He wished Professor Chike a peaceful, successful, and impactful administration, praying for divine guidance, wisdom, protection, and strength throughout his tenure as he steers the affairs of the University of Port Harcourt. These goodwill messages reflected a shared commitment among stakeholders to support the new administration in advancing the university's vision and strengthening its position as one of Nigeria's foremost centers of learning. This report is voiced by Vera Philip.
My name is Eze Konwalinwo.
Okay.
JP.
Okay, sir. Welcome to this honorable event. I want to know your thoughts, your wishes, and your prayers for the new Vice Chancellor.
Okay, first let me congratulate the Vice Chancellor, Professor Chike. I want to say on behalf of my family, congratulate him. My wish for him is that may the Almighty God bless him to give him the wisdom to rule the school. But without wisdom, he cannot do it.
My name is Professor Nat M. Abraham, the Dean of the Faculty of Education. Well, Professor Chike Briswell is my brother and friend, and incidentally, I contested for the position with him. I wish him well, and whatever ideas as an individual I have to move the university forward, I will share with him, I will work with him. I strongly believe that with him, the University of Port Harcourt will go higher and better than he met it.
Professor Stephen Okodu.
Welcome, sir. Want to know your thoughts, words of encouragement, prayers for the new Vice Chancellor.
The only thing I can wish anybody who occupies that position is the best of luck to be able to grow the university from strength to strength. It's not an easy thing to do such public work, but once you set your mind on it, and I think that Chike has set his mind on it, he's said the right words, he's given the right encouragements, and I believe that he's going to do well.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Navy has destroyed 5 illegal refining sites in the Ogba Igbe-Maidona local government area of Rivers State as part of its ongoing crackdown on crude oil theft and illegal bunkering. The commander of NNS Pathfinder, Commodore Kajetan Aniako, who disclosed this in a statement issued to journalists in Port Harcourt, said the operation was carried out by the NNS Pathfinder Tactical Riverine Assault Squadron team following credible intelligence. He explained that the team deployed personnel and operational assets to conduct anti-crude oil theft and illegal bunkering operations across the Ogba-Igbema-Indoni axis. According to the Navy, the dismantled sites were equipped with 62 refining ovens, 21 reservoirs, and 55 dugout pits containing about 50,000 liters of suspected stolen crude oil. Operatives also recovered about 83,000 liters of illegally refined automotive gas oil and 20,000 liters of refined kerosene. Reports say during the operation, the operatives uncovered and dismantled the newly activated illegal refining site, further reinforcing the Navy's commitment to curbing oil theft and safeguarding the nation's critical economic assets. To the national scene, where the federal government raised 5.08 trillion naira from the domestic bond market in the first 6 months of 2026, marking a 77.8% increase from the 2.86 trillion naira raised during the corresponding period of 2025. This is according to the analysis by the Debt Management Office, which said the increase came despite decline in borrowing cost. Reports say the government also significantly increased the amount of bonds offered to investors during the reviewed period, adding that between January and June 2026, it offered 4.95 trillion naira worth of bonds, compared with 1.85 trillion naira in the corresponding period of 2025. In another development, the federal government has completed its strategic engagement with leading aircraft manufacturers to firm up discussions on how to secure convenient equipment acquisition deals for indigenous operators. Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo, who led a high-level working visit to Bombardier's Laurent Baudoin Completion Center, LBCC, in Montreal, Canada, said the engagement is part of the government's broader strategy and efforts to modernize Nigeria's aviation industry, as well as strengthen capacity for local operators. Report says the Nigerian delegation visited the Canadian aircraft manufacturer's facility and was initiated to establish direct relationship between Nigerian operators and major global aircraft original equipment manufacturers, OEMs. Meanwhile, the visit marks the final leg of a series of engagements with the world-leading aircraft manufacturers, following similar visits to Boeing, Airbus, and Embraer. And now to education, where the federal government has suspended the proposed review of registration fees for the 2027 West African Senior School Certificate Examination and the National Examination Council Senior School Certificate Examination, pending wider consultations with stakeholders. The Federal Ministry of Education, in a statement signed by the Director, Press and Public Relations, Boriowo Folashade, said the suspension followed concerns and feedback from members of the public, adding that the proposed fee adjustment has been withdrawn to allow for a comprehensive review before any final decision is taken. According to the ministry, the proposed fee review was driven by rising costs associated with conducting national examinations, which includes higher costs of logistics, security, printing of examination materials, technology development, quality assurance, and other services required to maintain the credibility of public examinations. Reports say the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, directed that the proposal be put on hold in line with the federal government's commitment to inclusive and evidence-based policy making. To security, where Deputy President of the Senate and Chairman of the Senate Committee on Constitution Review, Senator Jibrin Barau, says President Bola Tinubu's proposal to establish state police will work efficiently without succumbing to any form of abuses. According to Barau, the proposed state police system would complement the Nigerian police force by strengthening community-based policing and improving responses to banditry, kidnapping, and other violent crimes across the country. Barau said the executive bill had undergone extensive consultations and legislative scrutiny, including public hearings conducted across the 6 geopolitical zones and the Federal Capital Territory, adding that the administration had taken into account concerns expressed by Nigerians over the possible abuse of the state police by political office holders and had consequently built safeguards into the constitutional amendments. In another development, the Defense Headquarters has released a video showing how security operatives rescued the pupils and teachers abducted from Urire local government area of Oyo State after more than 50 days in captivity. The video shared on the Defense Headquarters official X handle highlighted the operation that led to the victims' safe rescue. The military said the operation was made possible through intelligence-led efforts and collaboration among security agencies.
All right, you're back. All right, congratulations. Welcome. Congratulations. Life attacking roundabout. This is the rescue team. Congratulations. Ogbomoso kú oríire. Our military don't like. Congratulations, sir. Thank you, Nigerian police. Thank you. Welcome. This is Ogbomoso Focus TV. Oríta Taki Ogbomoso la wà yó. All right. Congratulations. Adúpẹ́. Welcome. Congratulations, Nigerian. Ogbomoso kú oríire o. Akú oríire. The rescue. Oríta Taki Ogbomoso. Ibẹ̀ la wà báyìí. The rescue has been done. Congratulations. Oríta Taki Ogbomoso. Ibẹ̀ la wà yìí. Wọ́n ti kó àwọn ọmọ wa dé o. Congratulations.
The Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, had said that 8 suspected kidnappers were arrested during the operation, while several others were neutralized, adding that the suspects are currently in the custody of the Department of State Services for further investigation. To the judiciary, where the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission has arraigned a former Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Nnaji, before the Federal High Court in Abuja on a 6-count charge bordering on alleged certificate forgery, false information, and corruption. According to the charge marked PFHC/ABJ/CR/391/2026, The ICPC alleged that between August 2023 and October 2025, while serving as minister, Naji received 29,578,466 naira 67 kobo through his Fidelity Bank account as salary and allowances, which the commission described as, quote, proceeds of unlawful acts, unquote, contrary to the provisions of the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022. The Anti-Graft Agency also accused the former minister of using his office to confer a corrupt advantage on himself by receiving the same sum as salary and allowances, contrary to the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000. Reports says the former minister, arraigned before Justice Joy Abdul Malik, pleaded not guilty to all the charges. Now to African news, where the High Court has dismissed an application by Dr. Kiza Besigye and Haji Obeid Lutale seeking to terminate treason proceedings, clearing the way for their trial to begin July 13, 2026. In a ruling delivered electronically through the Electronic Court Case Management Information System (ECCMIS), Justice Emmanuel Baguma described the application as incompetent and an abuse of court processes intended to delay the hearing of the main criminal case. Report says the ruling means Besigye, Lutale and UPDF captain Dennis Koula will now proceed to trial on charges of treason. To Sudan, where a court in Sudan's army-controlled city of Port Sudan has sentenced paramilitary leader Mohamed Hamdan Daglo and 15 others to death in absentia over charges of killing a regional governor and war crimes in Darfur. The ruling issued by a judiciary functioning under the army is the first against the leadership of the Rapid Support Forces RSF since war broke out between the paramilitary group and the Sudanese army in April 2023. Reports say the court convicted Daglo and other defendants of war crimes, crimes against humanity, genocide and attacks on civilians and public facilities. Report says that those sentenced include Daglo's brother and deputy Abdel Rahim Handman Daglo, as well as several RSF officers and tribal leaders from Arab communities in West Darfur. On the foreign scene, at least 27 people have been killed and 22 critically injured in Bangkok after a huge fire tore through a bar on Sunday. Eyewitnesses say the blaze started near the stage of the bar in the popular Chatukak district, then spread rapidly, cutting power and engulfing the room with smoke. According to reports, Bangkok firefighters who arrived at the scene just after midnight quickly extinguished the fire. They found the bodies of most of the victims in a bathroom where they had apparently sought shelter. And in another development, the United States of America has hit dozens of Iranian military targets in new strikes as Iranian media reports explosions in several parts of the country, with Isfahan province officially saying the strike on a military base killed one person and injured 7 others. This comes hours after U.S. Central Command CENTCOM said it had completed its latest round of strikes in Iran in response to Iran targeting commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, Iran says it is targeting U.S. bases in Jordan, Bahrain and Kuwait. However, radar systems in Oman, Bahrain, has accused Iran of targeting civilians. And still to come, the Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen revealed plans to return to school after retirement from football. We'll bring you details of these and other stories in just a moment. Please stay tuned.
Is it time? I can't wait to see it.
Voice of the people, stories that matter.
Oh wow!
Truth in every moment, now and forever. Across every border, across every land, we form, we empower, together we stand. From Africa to the world, connecting everybody.
We'll begin with a business news story that says Standard Chartered Bank Nigeria has urged small and medium-sized enterprises to strengthen export capabilities and improve their readiness for cross-border trade as businesses seek growth opportunities beyond the domestic market. The acting chief executive officer of Standard Chartered Bank Nigeria Limited, Ayodeji Adelagun, made the comment during the bank's International SME Day 2026 client engagement session in Lagos, themed Scaling Beyond Borders in a Changing Global Market, where discussions focused on changing macroeconomic environment, collaboration across the trade systems, and the role of financial institutions in supporting Nigerian businesses seeking access to international markets. Adelagu noted that SMEs account for about 96% of businesses in the country, contributing nearly half of the nation's gross domestic product and employ a significant share of the workforce. Report says the event brought together regulators, industry experts, business leaders, and SME customers to discuss export development, trade facilitation, and cross-border business opportunities. Meanwhile, Nigeria's crude oil production has climbed to its highest level in more than 6 years, with the country exceeding its Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries OPEC production quota for the 4th consecutive month, sustained by improved operational stability and fewer disruptions to the oil infrastructure. The figures contained in the Commission's latest production report and conveyed in a statement issued by its head of media and corporate communications, Eniola Akinkuotu, showed that June also marked the 4th consecutive month of production growth, reinforcing the recovery of Nigeria's upstream oil sector after years of production losses caused by pipeline vandalism, crude oil theft, and operational disruptions. The production level represents 104% of Nigeria's 1.5 million barrels per day crude oil production quota approved by OPEC and marks the country's highest crude oil output since April 2020, making it a 74-month high. In health, the West African College of Physicians has urged the federal government and state governments to adopt sustainable health care financing, strengthen medical training infrastructure, and embrace affordable digital technologies to address challenges affecting Nigeria's health sector. The college made the call during a press conference in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, at the end of the 50th Annual General and Scientific Meeting of its Nigeria chapter. Chairman of the Nigeria chapter of the WACP and Vice President of the college, Professor Benjamin Uzochukwu, said the resolution reached at the meeting were aimed at building a more resilient healthcare system through stronger partnerships among medical professionals, government institutions, and communities. Meanwhile, the meeting brought together 434 doctors comprising 351 physical participants and 83 virtual attendees, including fellows, resident doctors, researchers, policymakers, and public health stakeholders from Nigeria and other West African countries. And now to sports, where FIFA has announced the match officials for match 101 of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, with experienced Salvadorian referee Ivan Barton set to officiate the blockbuster semi-final between France and Spain. The World Football Governing Body confirmed the appointments in a post on its official X account recently. According to FIFA, Barton will oversee the highly anticipated clash at Dallas Stadium on Tuesday, July 14, with kickoffs scheduled for 3 p.m. EDT. Report says the appointment places Barton in charge of one of the biggest fixtures of the tournament, with two European football giants battling for a place in the 2026 FIFA World Cup final, adding that Barton will be assisted by fellow Salvadorian David Moran as assistant referee 1, while Argentina's Antonio Pupiro is to serve assistant referee 2. Sweden's Glenn Nyberg will serve as the 4th official, with compatriot Mabod Beigi appointed as the reserve assistant referee. And still in sports, England suffered a 270-run thrashing in a one-off women's test at Lord's as India sealed the emphatic victory before lunch on the final day. The defeat is England's second heaviest defeat in terms of runs in Test cricket after the 347-run loss against the same opposition away from home in 2023. Reports say England was outclassed over little conviction or discipline, with the bats across both innings and average just 4 when the ball was bowled on the stumps. They also failed to adapt to conditions with the ball and the Lord's slope. Meanwhile, Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen has revealed that he will return to school and earn a university degree after retiring from football, describing education as a personal goal despite success in his professional career. Speaking in an interview, the Galatasaray forward noted that a football career is relatively short, making it important for players to prepare for life after retirement. Osimhen added that although he has other opportunities to rely on after hanging up his boots, obtaining a university degree would be a personal accomplishment and a way to inspire younger people. The former African Footballer of the Year encouraged young people who had to suspend their education because of financial or personal difficulties to take it up again, stressing that it is never too late to return to school. And famous influencers Pella and Javiz have set August 1 as white wedding date, unveiling a 1 million Ashwebi package. And on the entertainment scene, TikToker Pella and Javiz have unveiled a 1 million naira Ashwebi package and announced August 1 as the date for their white wedding. And the formal announcement came through a dramatic thriller-style video posted on their verified social media pages featuring fellow content creator Gege. Report says that the couple's wedding #Japel is expected to be one of the most watched influencer weddings in Nigeria this year. Lastly, on our news, the actor Sam Neill, known for his roles in the Jurassic Park film, has died at the age of 78. Neill's family said the loss is sudden and unexpected, adding that the actor died in Sydney, surrounded by family, and passed with the dignity that has characterized his whole life. Recall that in 2023, Neill said he had been diagnosed with cancer, but in April this year revealed he was cancer-free. Neill was born in Northern Ireland and moved to New Zealand when he was 7. He later played a Belfast police chief in Peaky Blinders. That's how we wrap up CEMTV News on the hour, but before we go, a recap of some of the headlines. Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen has revealed plans to return to school after retirement from football. Professor Prince Will Chike has resumed as 10th Vice Chancellor of the University of Port Harcourt. The federal government has suspended proposed WAEC-NECO fee hike.